My introduction to the game, and I ain't come with much. Just a pistol and a temple, please don't push that button. I realized them niggas slime, and I ain't going for nothing. But homicides or suicide if you come for us. They say feel they out here doing their thing, but I ain't done enough. I swear do not take nothing but some change to shoot your gun on.
Hey, what's up guys? My name is Saint here, and you guys are back with another video. No, I don't like that one. Hey, what's up guys? It's Saint here, and you already know what time it is. Look like it's time for another video. Alright, so today I'm going to hop into something that I haven't talked about yet, but I've been waiting to, get into, and it's what I do. For those of you who already know me, you know what I've been doing like the last 9, almost 10 years. I was working for an airline. Shout outs to Delta for that. But I decided that I wanted to switch career paths. I was more driven to something that I've been wanting to do for a long time, which was, of course, in the title. I don't want to, whatever though. But yeah. So my journey along this, and I'm gonna play some clips and stuff like that to show y'all like what I went through or what I was dealing with while I was going through training in school for truck driving. That's right, truck driving. And I'll give like clips of me on the road during my training and also like my first job. So my first job was with Werner. And I say was because I'm still kind of currently employed by them, but then I have another career, another job that I already have in the pocket. So that's why I say it was. So my experience with Werner had its ups and downs. Before I get into all of that, man, I'm the type to like the vibe while I, do stuff like this. It's just my way of doing things. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop this luau open, get my little drink on while I vibe out with y'all. Cheers. Day 1 orientation. Let's get it. Had its ups and downs, to be honest. It was fun, exciting, just as anything that's new for anyone. But, along the ride, you get to start to see like what it really entails and what it's all about for real, once you're actually in the position that you're getting or going for. And I started, not liking it all that much. So when I feel like I don't like anything, usually my go-to thing is to like jet out. I'm out of here. I don't like this. Don't have to deal with it. I could do something different. That's just my typical mindset when it comes to that, because, time on this earth is short. You got to enjoy everything that you do and everybody who you surround yourself with, regardless of whatever the situation is. So if you're not doing that, you need to kick it in gear and make some changes so you can better yourself. You know what I'm saying? So I started not liking it so much. So I started talking to my leaders about it, and they were on some stuff like, well, just keep trying it, it'll get better. It wasn't always like this type stuff. But I'm just like, okay, you guys aren't really giving me any type of response to the feedback that I'm giving you guys. So I told them that, hey, if I can't switch out to another account or something different, because what I started out doing was working on an account that they have, but it was short trips, not really much hours. And then I would do 34-hour resets, which means I had to sit in one spot, whether it's a truck stop or what have you, for 34 entire hours before I could move that truck again. So it's like, it was so much of that. The checks were like minimal as heck. Like I can't even begin to describe. Like, yeah, that lets you know right there. Like it didn't keep me driven or motivated to do anything. So I felt like I needed to switch it up. So once I talked to my leaders, I let them know that I had been putting in applications at other companies and that I was thinking about just jetting out and leaving to try something, elsewhere that was going to be better for me and more suitable for my lifestyle. I wasn't getting cons. I wasn't getting any good amount of money at all. No home time at all. Whenever I put in for home time, I would never either hear anything back from my manager or my transportation manager, or they would just skip over it as if I didn't even feed it into the system. Again, my 34-hour resets, which were supposed to be at home or at least pass-throughs through Atlanta, never got that, never saw that. It's like every time it was approaching some days that I had requested off for my home time hours, they would send me the opposite direction of Atlanta, and and then give me a 34-hour reset in some place where it wasn't even anything to do or eat or any of that. So I was just like, nah. So they ended up switching me to the DG account. A lot of people don't like the DG account, especially for newbies like myself, because it's hard work, to be honest. A lot of people just want to drive, you know, get their money, drop the dang trailer off, and get the fuck out of Dodge. But I'm more hands-on when it comes to stuff like that. So I told myself that I would actually probably enjoy it, so give it a try out. So basically on the Dollar General account, drive to different Dollar General stores. Some could be local, some could be in other parts of Georgia, but the thing with that is I was willing to compromise to take the physicality of the job because it would have me with more home time, if that makes sense. So even if I had to drive an hour out or 2 hours out or 3 hours out, I was still within Georgia. So at the end of that day, when I was done, I knew I was going to be able to be at home. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't a home daily account, but you were home daily pretty much. So I really did enjoy that part of it. But yeah, with that first account, it wasn't talking about anything. So I was just like, dang, a lot of people say don't do this account, don't do the Dollar General, don't do DG, stay away from DG. But I gave it a try, and ultimately, as we can see, I didn't like that too well. Management was super cool. They were very understanding. They worked with you. They were no issue at all. I shout out to y'all boys. But just the job itself, it wasn't really what I wanted to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, not the job itself, but how people would set you up for the job. So like, it was people that loaded up the trailers. It would be a total mess or a catastrophe when I opened up the trailer doors. Boxes stacked to the ceiling, like no space for anything. Like I couldn't even get any good enough space to like maneuver the carts and the product off of the trailer to get inside of the stores. Spillage, everything busted or spilled down because they're not packing it or putting it on the trailer right. So it was just stuff like that became a headache for me. I didn't like it. I knew it wasn't the right way that they should be doing things because it makes it harder for us drivers. So yeah, I got the fuck out of Dodge. But yeah, I put in for multiple different applications. Shout out to Glassdoor and Indeed, because they basically gave me a lot of companies that I had no idea about. Like, so if you're looking for a job, if you're fresh out of school, or even looking into getting your CDLs and you're just trying to prep for everything, make an account on Indeed and also on Glassdoor, because those two places, shout out to y'all, because y'all helped me, you know, get out of this situation with Werner to find something much, much better. So shout out to y'all. So schooling, you're thinking about getting your CDLs. It's a plethora of schools that you can apply to or go for if you're trying to get them. For some, it could be a quick process. For others, it could take a little longer, just because it's basically you set the pace for it. So it's like, you have to learn this, you have to know this, you have to learn these maneuvers, you have to be able to perform these maneuvers, you have evaluations, and you have like test outs before your main DMV test. I went to a school, I keep hitting this, I'm not used to having this. I went to a school called Roadmaster. It's in Conley, Georgia, which is sort of like Atlanta, Decatur-ish type stuff. But I went to that school. Shout out to the instructors that were there, because I don't know if they're still there or not. Roger, Devin, Z, Miss Tanya, oh gosh, I'm forgetting somebody, Demetrius, Big O, oh my gosh, Legs, oh my legs, they wore shorts every day, I call them Legs. But we built a great bond. Excellent people. If they still at that school, go to that school, check them out, ask for some of those names, see if they out there, test out the school, do a tour, see how you like it, whatever. Not gonna push anything on anybody because everyone's experience is different. Prime example, one of my closest friends, I consider a brother, he has a CDLs too, but he's been driving for years now. But he went to a school called Cat Law. They were great when he went for him, but he gave me the heads up on them, so I paid thousands of dollars to be able to go to that school out of my own pocket. I didn't do any loans or anything like that. Paid them straight cash. and basically I was out of about $4,000 because the trucks were raggedy as hell. And mind you, this is years after. I went to the school, took a look at the school, but then when I asked about, like, could I see the trucks and stuff like that, they were on some shit like, well, we don't let out people out onto the range unless you're actually a student type stuff. But you can look out the window there. So I'm seeing, like, groups of people out there, trucks and stuff. They doing maneuvers and stuff. They little group over here laughing. So I'm like, okay, this might be an okay, school for me. And my brother went there, so I'm gonna, give it a shot. I'm ready to get my feet on the ground running with this shit. So after a couple of weeks there, probably like towards my last week, like I was just over it from the staff being unprofessional. Now, don't get me wrong, there's a couple of them there that I built close bond with because they were, dope, like Zoe, Sis. I'm not gonna give their names out on here. I gotta say Lee. Shout out to Lee. But it was a lot of them that, like, are there because they have a passion for it. But you could just tell, like, the management and people running that thing, they really whack. The trucks are crap. Some days we weren't even able to perform in certain maneuvers and stuff. It was completely shut down because tires would pop and they can't replace them, or a truck would catch on fire. And we just couldn't be out there and those types of things. But yeah, it was horrible. For the money that I paid, we all deserved, like, way better. And the ratio for people graduating and actually passing the DMV test at that particular school, Cat Law, sucks. Womps. They say that they're the best school in the nation. I don't know how in the hell or where they got that from, but yeah, straight trash. One specific day when I went out to test out, the trucks were fucked up. There were air leaks, and we had driven like an hour and some change out, all of us, me and a couple of my other friends who went there. Time wasted because guess what? Trucks messed up. Air leakage, and they're just like, oh, well, just go ahead. They're that type of school. Try to get you to get in something that's dangerous type shit. So yeah, stay away from that school. I can't tell you to stay away, but me, I'm gonna stay away. My family and friends, I'm gonna let them know if they're interested to stay away from that. I'll do what y'all want to do. Might be a great school for you. Again, our experiences might be different. Mine was horrible there, so no. So when I just decided I was fed up with that school, I decided to go and check out Roadmaster. I'm glad that I did. Because the same day that I went and pulled up, it was just an eye-opening experience and just noticeable differences about, like, the school, the staff, wear uniforms. Everything is uniform. Everything is organized. You can go inside of the school manager's office and see your placement and where you are, what you have coming up, like evals or what you need to work on or what you've done so far, grades. Everything is on point from the day you sit your butt in that seat for your first day all the way up until you finish. Again, it's what you make of it. I took the experience. A lot of people go there and try to meet people and fuck around and, try to make friendships, which is cool, because I met some great friends there. Shout out to Crystal, shout out to Justin's and Wallens. Yeah, baby. But we also were focused and determined to get them L's and to pass that test so we can, do what we're doing right now. So shout out to y'all. Shout out to Roadmaster. At the school, first day was basically like filling out paperwork, filling out information online and getting our books issued. And then the rest of that week, we basically went over all of the materials for, like, DOT regulations and learning hours of service and how to plot out your time. What else? Went through laws. We watched a bunch of videos on safety, what you should think about, things you should watch out for, safety, being careful, watching your surroundings, watching out for not only yourself but others, stuff like that. Then that Friday, at the end of that week, we took a little test. Had to get an 80% or better to pass that guy. Yeah, it was cool. As long as you pay attention and stay focused and actually study the material outside of just being in the classroom. So when you're home, just go through it, run through it a few times, you'll get it. That next week, we were on pre-trip. So pre-trip is basically learning the entire truck and every component of it that has importance of your safety and safe operation of that vehicle. It goes from the front of the truck to the back of the truck. So on the test, you can get part A, B, C, or D. D being the entire tractor and trailer and components. C is, I believe, was the back side, of the the trailer. B is from the back corner of the trailer all the way up into the bulkhead of the trailer. And yeah, that was B. And then A is everything underneath the hood up until the side of the tractor, to like a little split off in the tractor, like the tires. But yeah, you can get any of those parts, so it's best to study. I'm gonna say that again. Study. Do not play around with that pre-trip. It's one of the most important things that you have to do, because it's like you could be the best driver out there at that school on that range, but guess what? If you can't pass that pre-trip, nobody will know how great you are as a driver or on these skills or on these maneuvers, because guess what? You can't pass that pre-trip, you ain't gonna get a chance to do none of that stuff. They will whack you clean out. It's that important. You have to know that your tires need to be at a certain PSI. You have to know that the steering wheel doesn't have too much give. You have to know what these wires are. You have to know about an alternator and an air compressor and its cutout and the governor, and you have to know about the firewall and the engine components and the belts, and that they can't have more than 3/4 inches of play. You know, stuff like that is very important. You have to know about the brakes. You have to know about the brake drums. You have to know about the brake hoses, its chamber, a range of things, man. You have to know about your airbags. You have to know about the trailer. You have to know about the landing gear. It's so many components, and it's like when you first see it, you'll be overwhelmed. You can become overwhelmed because it's a lot of information that you got to take in. But again, it's super important, so you got to know that stuff. So at the end of that week, we have the opportunity, or any time during that week, you could test out early if you have it down pat. Luckily, since I had went to that first school, I had to learn that stuff, and it was still drilled into my head. And I knew it all. At Roadmaster, it's a specific way that they want you to say that stuff for that test to make sure that you pass that thing and that you're prepared, fully prepared. I had to specifically say it's not cracked, bent, broken, or damaged, or not loose, or not leaking, you know, stuff like that. You had to be specific at Roadmaster. They don't play. It's not a light matter with that pre-trip stuff. So again, I cannot stress it enough. Learn it, study it, sleep with the packet next to you, highlight that motherfucker, run through that shit, and just get that verbiage down. Because once you pass that, like, the only thing that you'll have to focus on at that point is learning the maneuvers and the skills, and it'll be a big weight off your shoulders. Because a lot of people learn differently, and it was people who had been at that school months before me who just kept getting chances after chances after chances, or having to pay out of pocket again for more time because they couldn't get the pre-trip down. They weren't taking it seriously. But it's imperative that you get that shit down. So if you're looking to get your CDLs, there's a lot of guides online. I'm probably gonna put one together too. It's not a cheat sheet, but it's more like a study guide, similar to what they're gonna give to you, but it's like more of how I remembered everything. You know what I'm saying? After that, you pass your pre-trip, then you're allowed time on that range. When you're out on that range, you're learning parallel, sight side, and blind side. You're gonna learn straight line back. You're also gonna learn offset, again, sight side and blind side. And then you're gonna learn alley dock. Yeah. Again, if you're interested in getting your CDLs, watch some videos on these maneuvers and these skills, because you might look at that shit and be like, oh yeah, I can do that shit. That shit easy. I play Grand Theft Auto. I know how to whip that bit. I can do that. Yeah, that you'll be pissed off, I'm telling you. But you'll get it. For me, I mean, and it might come naturally to some of y'all. I seen some people at the school like literally get up, get that thing, whip that thing up in there, and they be done. But little old me, yeah. It took me a while for that alley dock, but parallel, straight line back, offset. Once you get your angles and your pinpoints and your turns right, and you're watching your mirrors, because that's the thing. You have to pay attention to your mirrors. One, for safety reasons, to make sure you're not hitting nobody or nothing, or damaging that truck or any property or anything like that. And for two, you gotta see where you going. You don't just whip that shit in when you in your car, do you? I hope not. If you do, you probably don't need to be trying to get your CDL. But you gotta check your mirrors, man. Of course, we don't have like a rear view mirror, but no worries. But in the truck, you have your side mirrors. You have a total of 6 mirrors. So you have your 2 mirrors on the hood, and then you have 2 flat mirrors, and then you have your 2 convex mirrors. But yeah, so you have 6 mirrors there, so use them. Never not look at those mirrors. And also another important thing is to get out and look. We say goal, GOAL. It's super important to get out and look, because when you get out and look, again, you're just making sure that you're not hitting anything or damaging anything or anybody, and that you're just being safe at all times when you do that. So make sure you get out and look, and make sure you watch your mirrors at all times, whether you're driving, especially when you're backing. And always don't be overconfident or think that you know it all. Get out and look. Out there on the range, that was like the longest time that you have, probably like a couple weeks out there. You get time. I think it was 2 weeks for us, maybe 2 weeks in, like a couple of days after that week of pre-trip, and then that week in the classroom. But you'll be fully prepared for it, again, as long as you listen to your instructors. Don't think you know everything. Just because you watch a couple of videos of your homeboy, your granddaddy, or whoever, your daddy was a truck driver, you gotta know that you have to go in there with an open mind, ready to learn, and be a sponge to soak up everything that they have to offer. Because when you get to that test date, you think you know everything, you'll show yourself that you don't know everything. I've seen people, when I was out there practicing, it might have been like a week before me and my group was supposed to test out, I'll be watching people so confident, overly confident, like, yeah, I got this shit. And then like you see them do what we call a walk of shame, like the truck be way over there somewhere, but you can still see them like a little speck, a little ant walking off, pissed off, walking to their car, walking in the office to get rescheduled for their test, and you don't want to do that. Luckily, I was one of the ones. Well, yeah, it was, I think everybody was one and done in my specific group. I think it was 4 of us total, except for one person, but she knocked it out. She got back on that horse and she knocked it out. But yeah, everybody else is one and done. One and done means that we did it one go around. We didn't have to we didn't fail anything. We didn't have to redo anything, stuff like that. And it makes you feel good to be a part of that one and done group, because damn, I got this shit. For the most part, your real experience is gonna come out when you actually are on that road with your trainer. And then once you graduate from being with your trainer and you're on your own, that's when you're gonna have to kick it in gear. You start learning more things because you're out in the real world actually doing it. So yeah, but yeah, I just wanted to give a quick rundown. I ain't gonna talk to y'all too much about it. I might pop back in at a different location or something while I talk about some more stuff, because I gotta think about what else I want to tell you guys too. But yeah. Again, if you're looking into getting your CDLs, you're looking into getting into trucking, don't get into this motherfucking career set and just be like, oh, I'm finna make a ton of money. You definitely can, but at the end of the day, you're gonna have to have that experience, which takes time, and you're gonna have to have the knowledge of what you're actually doing. Set up a plan. Take a look at what you're interested in doing. Look up some companies, their reviews. Look just like you would do with schooling, picking a school. Look at these schools. Look at their reviews. If you know somebody that then went to some, chat it up with them, chop it up. If you're at a gas station and you see somebody with the CDL headset on, you already know if they're a truck driver or not when you see that shit. You see it, hey, can I holler at you real quick, man? I'm interested in getting my CDLs, or I have my CDLs. What company do you work for? How is it? Be honest, how you like it? Heard of any other companies that you might be looking at? Or, better question, hey, you know any companies that might be looking for non-experienced drivers? No, those are good questions that you can look for. Those are good questions to Google. Those are good questions just all in all to just get a better understanding of which route to take, what options you have, and which ways to go. I'm trying to think. Was there anything else I wanted to talk to y'all about? Oh yeah, I can talk to y'all about some of my routes. I've been to Tennessee. I've been to Alabama. I've been to Mississippi. I've been to Ohio. I've been to North Carolina. I've been to South Carolina. I've been to Georgia, of course. I've been to Florida. Basically the southeast region. Basically, you can go anywhere on the right side of the globe. I didn't go up north though, thank God. But yeah, I've hauled furniture, I've hauled beer and alcohol, I've hauled food, I've hauled household goods, I've hauled like toiletries and tissue and paper towels and stuff like that. I've hauled empty beer cans, I've hauled beer barrels and drums. And I've seen some beautiful places too. That's another thing that I really like about this. It gives me that same freedom like how when I worked for the airline, I was able to hop on a plane and just go, whenever you felt like it, you know what I'm saying? So it gives me that freedom to still travel the globe, well, the world, the US rather. And it's very beneficial. I think it's super important to be able to do what you want to do. I don't like when work feels like work. This doesn't feel like work to me in this industry, so that's why I really like it and I appreciate that. A lot of people just get into it for the money and other BS reasons, but no, it ain't about that for me. I like peace, I like tranquility, I like to be my own boss, basically, to be my own manager. And I got goals with this shit. Y'all keep following my journey, you'll see my plan, how I did it, how long it took me to do it, and the reasons why I do it. Something else I was about to say to him. I was talking about stuff I've hauled, where I've been before. With Werner, I was with the first driver. She was absolutely horrible. She left me on the truck a few times by myself, and you're not supposed to do that. Yes, overnight, and at back alleys at nighttime where there was no bathroom, no shower, no food to eat, none of that stuff. So yeah. She ultimately got reported when the company had to come to the students to say, hey, how's it going? Just checking in, whatever. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be 1,000. I'm not going to sugarcoat shit. I'm not going to scratch your back just because she was real messed up individual and trainer. She should never train. I wouldn't leave her with a fucking cricket, a bug to train. So yeah, I ended up having to be asked to get off of her truck. And she basically left me. They asked her to drive me like 3 hours back up to the main terminal, and she dropped me off at a trailer lot where it was, again, no bathroom, no shower, no food, no nothing, just a security guard. Little shed. So yeah, luckily they had a van that was coming in, and I just made it by the nick of time to catch it, to make it back up to Lakeland, Florida. It's like borderline Georgia, borderline Florida. Lake City? Is it Lake City? Lakeland. She dropped me off in Lakeland. I went up to Lake City, Florida. Yeah. I stayed there and they didn't have any drivers, so I was stuck at a freaking motel. Yes, I said a fucking motel. I've never stayed in a motel in my life. I'm not trying to be like bougie or boastful or no shit like that, but I just motherfuckers got standards. This is to you guys who don't mind stuff like that. Like, you see a motel, you good with the roaches and the bugs and the crickets and whatever else, and the unsavory people who walk out of the door in the room next to you, shit like that. If you cool with that, well, more power to you. I'm not here to judge, but me, my personal preferences, I don't like shit like that. I felt unsafe. And I had a roommate for literally a couple of hours, and then she got sent home because she was done with her training. And then I had the room to myself for like 3 days, and then they slapped another girl in there with me who was, let's just say, I felt uncomfortable because she liked bringing different people in at nighttime, and me and her just basically bumped heads a little about that, because I'm not with none of that stuff. Like, you don't even know these guys from a can of paint, so why do you have them in here? But that's another story for another day. But yeah, I ended up having a family emergency that got me to be able to come back home to Atlanta. I had been trying to come home to Atlanta for like, I would say a week straight while I was stuck there, because I was there for like 2 weeks and some change. And none of that time that I sat in that motel wasting counted towards my training. So technically I had only 1 week completed of training, and I still had to get 2 more weeks left. And that was just horrible for me. I really wanted to go home. Again, I was only supposed to be gone for 3 weeks for training. And if I only spent 1 week with an actual trainer in an actual truck, and then another 2 weeks and some change stuck in a motel, that's over 3 weeks right there. And I was just ready to go at that point. So it was like a bittersweet thing to have a family emergency, but it also granted me the opportunity to get the hell out of that motel. They put me on a Greyhound bus. I would have much rather rode this damn scooter that I'm standing next to from Florida all the way back up to Atlanta rather than to be on that bus. Man, those people were out freaking outrageous. I've never been on a Greyhound bus before that. I've been on like the charter buses for school trips and, you know, church trips and family trips, stuff like that. But like Greyhound bus, they might be as big as those charter buses, but they are completely different. Just picture a fucking lot of fucking people just shoved, crammed on, different scents and smells, and people using that one fucking porta potty slapped in the back of this bus, crying children, and can't sleep or can't relax. And I was stuck on that thing for like about, I want to say 6 hours and some change. It was total fucking chaos. Couldn't even sleep, couldn't do anything. It smelled horrible. It was just loud. But yeah, that's how I got home out of that situation. Took probably like another week and some change to get me to the second driver. Shout out to my dog Shawana. She's dope. She showed me everything. My girl from Memphis, Tennessee. You fed me right there. Her, everywhere, all that. Yeah. She was super dope. She was so patient. She was so cool. She was so nice. She was so understanding. She actually gave a fuck. And the industry needs more trainers like her. So shout out to you, Shawana. I appreciate you. She never rushed me. She never got frustrated with me. She was always cool and laid back. And even to this day, like, she's no longer with the company either. She shut them deuces, got the fuck on. Ow. Ran up them rests and got the hell on. Fuck out of Dodge. But yeah, she got gone, but I still call her and talk to her or whatever. And I need to text her, actually. So I appreciate myself for recording this video and her popping up into my brain. Thank you, Lord, for that. I need to check in on my girl, see how she doing. But yeah, I still text her. I still call her, like, especially like if I was on the road and I needed to know how to do something, and like she never like ignored my call. She always picked right up. She was always there to like basically, you know, for whatever I needed. So shout out to her. After my training with her, I only had to do 2 weeks with her, since I had already done a week, but we knocked that out. Got me back to the terminal. And then I went home because it was nighttime. And then that next morning they were calling me to come back up there and turn in my paperwork and my log book. Sorry. Hey, it's the Delta plane. Shout out to Delta. You can be somewhere for so long, you know, you still love them. And it's the only airline I'll still fly, by the way. It was nighttime, so when she got me back to the terminal, so basically just got my stuff out of her truck. Well, for the most, yeah, I got everything off that night. Loaded it up in my car, brought it home. The next morning they were calling me, ringing me up, saying, hey, come on in so you can turn in your paperwork, get signed off, get your truck. So I went through that entire process, which basically took all day, to be honest, all fucking day. It was chaotic. And then I ended up having to leave that day. They sent me home because ran out of time sitting there all day. They couldn't get through all of us. So I had to come back. They didn't tell me to come back that next day, which would have been Friday. And then the weekend, they weren't doing anything, so they told me to come back that Monday. So I had some days at home to see my family and to relax. And then I went back, sat again for hours, turned in my paperwork. I had to do some more testing, so we did like the simulator. Hold on, I'm getting a call. I don't know who that is. They'll call me back. But yeah. So I ended up sitting there all day again. Had to do a simulator. Did about freaking 5 or 6 of those. Oh, and then I had to do a road test. And then I had to do a backing test. And then I had to wait again for a long time for the guy who did the test out to turn in my paperwork and to get my stuff submitted. Then I had to wait on the office admins to call me to the back to basically issue me a truck. Then I had to do a walk around of the truck to take a look at any damages and notate this, that, and the third. And then I had to get a briefing of the truck, which basically didn't happen because she told me that she was too hot to be out there, basically. And she said she would text me everything I needed to know, but then she only sent me about 4 or 5 photos of things, like an app to download for sliding your tandems and just some other shit on how to work the APU. I meant the inverter, but yeah, that was how that went. And then I was told to wait at home until my transportation manager hit me up. That didn't happen, so again, I was home for about a week before I heard anything from anybody. And then I decided to call because I'm like, okay, maybe they forgot about me. Then I decided to call them because I had not heard from them, anybody from Warner in like a week's time. I'm like, hey, I'm here, I'm home, I got my CDLs, I passed all my tests and stuff, you signed me off, I got my truck. Where's the load? Where's my load? So I was able to get in contact with the big manager of the account that I was on. He's actually switched me out from my actual primary transportation manager because she was out on vacation or something. That's probably why I didn't hear anything. He apologized about that, so I appreciate him for that. And then he set me up with another transportation manager who was such a divo. He's cool, but it's like he's kind of like hard to work with a little bit, or hard to get home time, hard to like express stuff to, because it's like a out of sight, out of mind. Like you'll call him for something and he'll be like, oh, I'm about to go into a meeting, I'll talk to you tomorrow, not later on today, or not when I come out of my meeting, but just call me tomorrow. It might have been something I needed right then, or like needed to know right then. I'm new, it's my first day out here, literally my first day out here, and I'm in a whole nother state, not knowing what I need to know. And if I'm calling you, like, don't brush me off, or if you have to brush me off for whatever reason, just give me a quick call back or shoot me a text, anything. But it's just, I ain't really like working under him. To each his own. I met some cool cats, some old heads who've been with the company for like 5-6 years, and the other one I think like 10 years. And they were awesome. So basically they showed me the ropes whenever we were in the same area. If not, I would be able to call them or text them or FaceTime them and, see what's what. Not only just for stuff what I needed, I would just call to check in on them. And, camaraderie of driving. Sometimes, it's a battle out there when you by yourself and you're driving and you're lonely, or, you know what I'm saying? So it's good to always have people that you can call and talk to, you know what I'm saying? Family, they got to work, or, they got their own things going on. So even if I would hit them up and talk to them, like I wouldn't hold them for too long, and be selfish. So it was good to have my driving buddies, because guess what? Your ass just driving, I'm just driving, so we might as well go ahead and just get on the line and chat it up while you drive your 8 hours. I drive our little 9-10 hours, so it worked out well. But yeah, it's starting to get a little bit dark out here, and but yeah, it's been an awesome experience so far, to be honest. Even with the downs, it's still been ups. So I'm grateful for the opportunity to be able to, go through this process, because it's like, again, I said, my granddad used to truck drive. Probably had a lot of other family members that did this too, but I was so proud of my granddad to hop in the truck, or, just to see him doing his thing, or to hear the stories about him and what he did, and to see what he provided for our family. Like, you know what I'm saying? I love that, so me riding around with him, even in his tow truck growing up, or his pickup truck growing up, I was just like, you know what I'm saying? I want to do what my granddad did, you know what I'm saying? And I always knew that it was a great industry to have, some experience in, and it's an industry that will never die out, because everybody need them goods and them services to come. And truck drivers do provide that. So shout out to all my truckers out there. Shout out to my truckers. If you new to this shit, if you old to this shit, if you retired from this shit, or if you even thinking about getting them, shout out to all y'all, man. I'm always gonna support my folks, and I hope that I get the same support and love back. Appreciate y'all for watching this journey of mine, and like and subscribe. Well, I don't want to sound like I got so much experience, but I have some experience and I have some knowledge as to what it entails to be successful at getting your CDL and stuff like that. So I'm gonna share it with y'all. You never know what types of questions might somebody might be thinking of. So hopefully I'm answering some of those things for somebody out there watching this. Enjoy the clips and the photos. I'm probably gonna do like a little montage or some music or some shit. Hopefully it don't bore you, but it'll give a glimpse as to like my time at Roadmaster, my time with my trainers, and my time on my own. All right, appreciate y'all, and just stay tuned for the journey. I'm excited to present a lot of stuff to y'all and give y'all this content. I'm gonna be dropping a lot of content, so stay tuned for fuck with y'all. Appreciate it. Hi, baby. Guess what, gang? My
Crack up the phone, I swear. Give me a stick if it hurt.